What's an industry secret in the field you work in? I design slot machines for casinos. Don't play slots. I'm an attorney. The secret is shut the fuck up. I'm a server. No matter how much we insist it's okay that you are keeping the entire restaurant open after we've closed, please know we are 100% lying. We will get fired if we deviate from anything other than pure delight that you are keeping us from going home. We dread it. Please don't believe us. Almost every hairstylist gets the heebie-jeebies when we shampoo your hair and you just stare up at us. Close your damn eyes at the shampoo bowl. Auto insurance agent. Please, for the love of God, don't tell auto insurance agents more than you have to. They ask you a question, just say yes or no and answer the question as straight as you can. If you go on and on about your life story, you will probably end up saying something you don't have to and making your rate higher, or getting yourself declined. We want to get you that policy as cheap as possible, only tell us what we need to know and don't say anything else. In Microsoft Office, Word specifically, you can upload recorded interviews and it will transcribe it and ever have speaker 1 and speaker 2, 3 and 4. Basically, eliminating a huge annoying part of the job. The fruits and veggies you buy at the grocery store, wash them. Knowing how to research the answer to a question is at least as or even more useful than knowing the answer to begin with. I made a living in IT for a decade with that mindset. People who work at 5-star hotels, what type of shit goes on that management doesn't want people to know? A friend of mine works for a small luxurious hotel in London. He told me the concierge system there is absolutely absurd. Money buys everything. Anything the clients want, clients get. They are told never to say no. Worst case they say I don't think this is really appropriate. Obviously, drugs and escorts are a classic. He showed me 20 phone numbers of drug dealers in his phone to be able to get whatever drugs to the customers. He never buys though, only gets people in contact. And for harder tasks, he goes through professional concierges who charge a lot. You want a new Prada dress at 2 a.m. for the party you are about to attend? Sure thing, let's wake a few people up, charge triple the price and split the benefit between people involved. Have a good night, madam. You want tickets for the Wimbledon final that takes place tomorrow? You have £20,000? Enjoy the game, sir. But in some cases, they can't satisfy the customer. So when a couple of clients came back drunk asking him to have sex with the wife while the husband was watching and filming, he felt like it was a good time to say I don't think this is really appropriate. I spent 10 years in the boutique and 5-star hotel world. Got stories for days. But here is my favorite that sums up hospitality, former anyways. Our concierge was Les Clef's door, and had all the connections. This dude could get you into the French Laundry same day. He would often greet guests with sangria and sprigs of mint from his garden. Sometimes he had lemon slices from his tree too. He loved to tell guests all about his garden and they ate it up. Yeah, that's all bullshit. Mint, lemon, and any other garnish we got from the local grocery store. The sangria? Cheapest box stuff we could find. But he sold the story like no other. At the end of the day, it worked. Here's one taken from the opposite end. I'm really bad at rolling joints. I left the shitty joint with my stash and papers on the dresser. I come back to a nicely rolled joint. I don't know if any was missing. But, thank you Hard Rock LV staff. Never ever ever, I repeat, use a chocolate fountain from a hotel or banquet hall. Picture this, it's an expensive ass Sunday brunch. Well, little Timmy just double-fisted strawberries directly into that chocolate, bit into both strawberries then triple-dipped into the chocolate again. And some old rich lady just sneezed on it. And somebody else just dropped their snack into it. The best part, that chocolate gets strained and saved for the next week's brunch. Chocolate is way too expensive to throw away. Chocolate also does this thing where it'll seize if it has the wrong moisture content, from people dipping fruit, and the juices going into the chocolate, so it'll get so thick it won't run through the machine. Want to know how they fix that? They add canola oil until it's smooth again. So, yeah, next time you're at a wedding and they have a chocolate fountain, think of this post. Think of this post when you dip into that dirty ass watered down with oil chocolate. Do bosses like Michael Scott actually exist? And if you worked for one, what's your craziest story? My boss is certainly Michael Scott-esque. When I first started I was essentially Pam as well since I was both receptionist and his assistant to some extent. My favorite story was back when we were prepping for a conference. Some context, he's terrible with the English language in general and will mangle phrases and descriptions to no end, how the turntables. So on a group call, he kept talking about wanting a golden hamster ball to do giveaways with. Was raving about how great it would be spinning around while people walked by, all the while everyone on the call was just sitting in confused silence. However, by that point, I had become so good at decoding his nonsense that I knew he was referring to a gold raffle cage and sent him an image privately asking if it's what he was thinking. To this day he still talks about the fact I can read his mind and must be psychic. And he still refers to it as a hamster ball. All in all, he's a pretty nice guy and a solid boss. Hired me based on a gut feeling and has been decent to me ever since. I think I knew it would be a good fit when during the interview he tried to tell me about the 4 pillars of the company and forgot one. Told me later it was knowledge. I had a boss sneak up behind a middle-aged female employee and pick her up, then immediately drop her down saying, "I didn't think you weighed that much." He could not stop laughing. He was the principal. This occurred during passing period in a crowded middle school hallway. He wanted a pomegranate for lunch and they were out of season, but that didn't stop him from sending me on a quest to every grocery store in town in search of a pomegranate. Multiple produce guys laughed at me, but that was the easiest $13 per hour I've ever made. Edit, wow, this blew up. Rather than replying to each of you, I'll say it here. No, I did not find a pomegranate, and when I came back he was eating Subway and he seemed to have forgot he'd even sent me. Maybe I could have gone home or to the movies, etc., but I don't know. Driving around leisurely listening to the radio seemed like a pretty good alternative to doing my actual work at the time. I did in fact check the gas station in Carbondale. They also do not carry pomegranates unless they are in season. I had a redhead boss who made us all sit down and watch a training video about how we shouldn't refer to him as a ginger because it is bullying. No one had ever called him that. I literally had a boss who would stop us in the middle of our work and hold company-wide meetings talking about 9/11 truther conspiracies and chemtrails. Mind you, we were furniture making company. He would get so caught up in his conspiracy theories that he forgot to order wood to make furniture one month. I had one, and these are just a few quick stories. He asked me how much I weighed during my interview. One time he was considering selling the company to a Japanese company, and while walking them around the building he was heard saying, "We really bombed the hell out of you, huh?" He got on the intercom and interrupted everyone by yelling for someone to bring him the football team's schedule. I have video of him telling a really cringy joke during a sales meeting. You could see at least one person covering their face in embarrassment. One time he told me to call his assistant and have her bring him a bag of coffee and his 5-pound dumbbell. He had a secret facelift. He was mysteriously gone for 3 weeks and came back with a beard. I ended up with a box of pictures from the 70s with an exotic dancer giving him a lap dance. In the conference room. Same furniture. One time I watched his business partner go down the potluck line, tasting everything with the same fork. At the end of the line, he stuck his used fork into the cake. I haven't eaten at a work buffet since. Honestly, these are just the ones I immediately remember. It was 5 years of this.